Hey Scrappers, it's Vanessa here with another scrapbook process video, and today I'm playing along with 30 Days of Sketches, and the sketch was at the beginning of the video and it will pop up here in just a moment on the screen. And so the first thing I'm doing here is just creating the layers that are going to go behind my photo, because there are quite a few just scraps of paper layers that are in the sketch that I'm going to build up here behind this photo of my dad, who has my son who's sleeping in his lap. And this is actually a photo from Disney, and we were waiting for the parade at one of the night I believe this was during the Very Merry Christmas party, and we were waiting for the parade and my son fell asleep, and so I caught this cute picture of the two of them. So what I've done is I'm basically taking some scraps, and then I have two 6x6 pieces of pattern paper and that I'm just going to use in their full 6x6 size and layer those up behind the photo, and then just the other pieces are just some scraps. I did use a notebook punch to take another scrap and just punch some notebook edge on a couple of the pattern papers, again to give that little bit of texture. And just like the sketch shows, I'm going to kind of make some of those paper layers not be completely straight. I'm going to kind of have them crooked on a bit of an angle behind my photo. And I know it's not in the original sketch, but I am going to add an embellishment cluster down in the bottom right of this layout. I felt like without it, even with all the paper layers and things that are going to be around the photo, I really felt like it was missing something, that there was a bit too much white space for me on this page without there being something in that bottom right of the layout, because my photo is going to go just like the sketch up at that top sort of left of the page. Now, the background of this sketch does have some mixed media element to it, so I'm just going to bring out some Distress Oxide and Speckled Egg, and I have this sort of dictionary print, not stencil, this is a stamp, and I'm just going to do some messy stamping. I'm not even putting it on a block, I'm literally just taking it and sticking it in some of the Distress Oxide ink and just stamping it on the page, because ultimately I'm just looking for this just to add that bit of like textural or interest to the background, just to give it something that doesn't make the page feel so flat. And so I did not need it to have full coverage or anything like that. And I really like the look of this. It looks like it's worn. And so that's kind of what I was going for anyway. Then I'm just going to take the the Speckled Egg Distress Oxide ink, and just I'm going to splatter, but what I'm trying to do here, and this does not work, and luckily it's pretty, it blends into, or it sinks into the page. I'm losing my words today, but it kind of, sinks into the page, and because this ink isn't a super dark, even though this didn't really work, what I was trying to do was use the ink and add a little bit of water without putting so much water that it would warp my page, and just try to do some of the paint drips that are kind of in that sketch that we're using today. And ultimately I didn't really like how this looked, but I wasn't about to cover it up or start again, so I just kind of left it. It's very light, so it doesn't show up a ton, and you can kind of see it. My title ends up covering most of it, but again, it wasn't my favorite, but I was short on time, and so I definitely wasn't going to redo this background. I figured it's not great. I don't love this bottom part. As you can see, like at this point I was like, oh, I hate this. It's a mess. What am I going to do? But yeah, like I said, I was running on a time crunch, and I knew I couldn't spend the time to redo this background, so I'm going to use it. And in the end, it's there, you can kind of see it, but for the most part it's covered up, along with the majority of the stamping as well. It gets covered up. You can't even really see most of that either, because like I said, it's really just to add some interest to the background. So now I brought all of my pattern papers back, and I am just going to layer them up here behind my photo, kind of play with how much of an angle I want some of the papers to go on, and just make sure that my photo is straight. And then this is where I realized that, yeah, you really can't see any of the stamping, so I do add it just a little bit more. That'll come out a little bit further so that you can actually see at least some resemblance of, I tried to do some sort of mixed media on the background of this page. So once I have that done, I'm just bringing over here to the side of my page here all the sort of little embellishments and letter stickers and everything that I pulled from my stash just to use as embellishments and things that I thought I could try to put on this page in my embellishment clusters. In the end, a lot of this does not get used, but I do pull a few things here. Most of it is some tickets and some labels, and I'm just looking for like little pieces that I can layer up. And I have some tabs here. I have this scallop washi that was on a piece of white cardstock. I'm going to use that in my 2 embellishment clusters. I have some wood veneer. So I'm looking for different textures and just some small and medium and larger sized embellishments that I can kind of layer up to create those embellishment clusters. And I did have a Mickey head that was already punched in a navy piece of pattern paper, as well as those hearts. So I pulled those out because they work with the colors that I was going for. I also had these sort of leaves that are a puffy sticker, so that helps me, along with the wood veneer, have a little bit of a different texture added to my embellishment clusters, gives it a bit more interest. And I do pull out some word strips from one of them's My Mind's Eye word strip or sticker set, and one was an October Afternoon. And so I threw those into my clusters, and now you see I'm just working on my title. This whole layout really came together really quickly. I stayed pretty true to the sketch with my title even at the bottom, which is what is helping cover up some of that mixed media that I wasn't so crazy about. The title for this one is Melts My Heart, because like I said, this is just a little picture I snapped of my son who is sleeping in my dad's lap while we were waiting for the parade. And I'm just going to finish up this layout with some enamel dots. I have some gold glitter enamel dots, as well as some of these larger pebbles enamels, and I'm just going to go ahead and put a couple of those in each embellishment cluster. And with that, that's pretty much going to finish up this layout. I have still photos coming up at the end, as well as in the description box below, I will have links to everyone who is playing along. Everyone might not be playing along every day, just like I am, or playing along like me and not creating a layout every day. And so you can hop through and see everyone's creations that they're putting out for the 30 days of sketches. So with that, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.